What are tantric relationships? So tantric relationships are not necessarily open relationships. This is something that we discussed before, and we will discuss again. And today, let's talk about tantric relationships as either open or closed, and if it's easier for you, let's regard them as closed. What is the idea? Why would we like to be in a tantric relationship? So a tantric relationship is first of all a spiritual relationship. It's something that serves both of us in our spiritual evolution, in our daily spiritual practice, in learning service, learning surrender, learning love, learning transcendence of the ego. And let's discuss some of these aspects now. When we're in a relationship, it's like we're getting a mirror. We're getting somebody that constantly sees us, constantly interacts with us, and through our interaction with another person, many things come up. Many things come up that wouldn't come up if we are in a cave practicing some meditation. Wouldn't come up if we are social with many people and have friends but don't have somebody that we relate with intimately. Wouldn't even come up if we have many different kinds of sexual partners but don't go deeply and for a long time with one person. So this thing for me has been amazing. I've been on a 1.5 year relationship already, and it's been a relationship workshop. All of this time, so many things came up, so many things to realize about myself, about issues that I have, about needs that I have, about stuff that was there from childhood, about why I caused my previous relationships to fail, and how I can serve another person better, how I can serve myself better, and how I can do my mission better in the world by being assisted by all the stuff that comes up in a relationship. So the relationship makes me better for others as well. This is something which is really important. And you should avoid complaining or going into a victim mentality. It's not like, my partner did this to me and that to me, and I'm so hurt and I'm so angry and I'm so disappointed. It's more like take responsibility over your feelings, over why are you challenged? If something happens, why do you feel hurt or angry and sad? Take back the power. Don't give away power. Don't get into this hurt thing when you can't do anything. So take back responsibility, take back power, and see how you can change yourself instead of making your partner change. There's a lot of self-practice that comes in a relationship. There's a lot of working on your stuff. So sometimes instead of trying to get your partner to change, work on your stuff, get yourself to change, and that change or those changes would affect your partner as well. And sometimes you can see that you asking your partner to change in a certain area is actually a projection of yourself wanting or needing to change on that aspect as well. So start with yourself. The aspect of love. So the idea that in a relationship you are really able to go into love, really able to go into giving love and receiving love, into experiencing love, into understanding what love is on many different levels. So you might know some people and they say to everybody, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, which is great. But there's different kinds of love, there's different aspects of love. In English we only have one word, which is love. In Sanskrit there are, I don't remember, 30 or 40 or 50 words. In Arabic or in ancient Persian or something like that, there's also many words for love. So when you have many words for love, for the many aspects of love, you are able to describe them, you're able to feel them and to know kind of what you're feeling. The more love that you give, the more love that you receive. So again, some people have the attitude of like, my heart has been broken and I'm stopping my love and I don't want to trust anyone, I don't want to open because I don't want to hurt again. To that I would say just love, just open your heart, just trust. And yes, maybe you would be hurt again, but that hurt might open your love, open your heart. 2.5 years ago my girlfriend basically disappeared, leaving a note. And that was one of the hardest things for me ever. I was crying and shouting and beating the ground and feeling like she died. and it was an amazing lesson for me, and realized a lot of my fuck-ups. Her note revealed and expressed a lot of the things that I could have done better. So this was an amazing lesson for me, and I grew from that a lot, and I didn't stop loving because of that. In my next relationship, I loved even more. I loved more than I loved in my life. What else do we have? The idea of being a servant of love, giving your partner everything that they need in order to evolve. This is also related to the aspect of service that we'll get to in a moment. When you love somebody, you don't count what you did for them, what they did for you, and you don't say, I can only love this much, and they need to love me also this much, and afterwards I would love them that much. Really see how you can serve your partner, your lover, in opening in love. When you go into a relationship, if you commit to love as the goal of the relationship, everything will be easier. So both of you together, after a while, after you understand that you are going somewhere, it's not just a fling, you're able to really commit to love. The next idea is the idea of the transcendence of the ego. Relationship is something that reminds you of your stuff, of your shit, of your challenges, of your issues, of your fuck-ups, of many things that you do wrong, many things that you can do better, where you can evolve. This is a great opportunity for you to realize that as a spiritual practitioner, you might have spiritual ego. Spiritual ego is more dangerous than normal ego. You know, you think like, oh, I'm so spiritual and I'm making 5 hours of yoga and meditation per day, and I did this workshop and that course, and I did this retreat, and I've been doing this and doing that, and I can see auras. You know, because I can see auras, it means I'm so amazing. Some people even go as far as think that they're enlightened. So really work on your spiritual ego. Cultivate humility. This is something that is really important for me, really challenges me, something that I fail on sometimes, not being humble. So being in an open relationship makes you even more humble. It brings challenges in your face. It brings your shortcomings in your face, and we'll get to this later. There's sometimes suffering in relationship. I sometimes believe that if you don't suffer, you don't grow, but that might be me coming from a Jewish, Polish background. But really to look at the idea that sometimes any kind of suffering might make you grow. So if you suffer, you open to love. And it's not, suffering doesn't mean that you need to inflict suffering on your partner, or you have to take a hammer and hit yourself over the finger. It means that suffering will come up naturally in the relationship, and you should be able to accept it, to cherish it, and to allow it to help you grow. Own your own shit, own your own stuff, as part of transcendence of the ego. Yes, I am attached. Yes, I am selfish. Yes, I am needy. Yes, I am emotionally vacant. Yes, I am this or that. Constantly own your stuff. I sometimes used to remind my partner of the things that she needs to work on, and more I find that owning my own stuff helps me grow and helps the relationship grow, helps the interaction grow more than anything else. And it's also true with your interaction with your friends and with your family, with everyone. Everything's a mirror, basically. And if you say, that person has that problem, it's possible that you have that problem. Maybe they have that problem as well, but maybe you have this problem and you cannot change them. You can work on yourself and change yourself. The other idea that we touched on is the idea of service. So relationships gives you the opportunity to serve somebody else, to sacrifice, you can say, for somebody else. You can give your time, you can give your energy, you can give your awareness, your attention, so much to another person, and by that you can serve somebody in a different way than you serve your friends and the people that you interact with at work. When you are serving, and you might be resenting an action, maybe you're feeling like, I've been doing so much for them and they didn't do so much for me. Try to let go of this idea of like keeping like counts and tallying, and the idea of fairness, which are more on Manipura, the navel chakra. So let go of fairness and give everything that you have. Remember that when you are serving, you're basically serving God through that person. And if you want more of the tantric symbolism, you're serving the Shiva in the man that you're with, you're serving the Shakti in the woman that you're with, through whatever that you're doing. So even if you don't feel like giving or don't feel like giving, do it anyway. Do it even if you're suffering when you're giving, because this will open your anahata, your heart chakra. Another idea is the idea of transfiguration, seeing the divine in your partner and in everyone, seeing the beauty, seeing the potential, and loving them for that. Another idea is having a common spiritual goal. So, because a tantric relationship is a spiritual relationship, you should decide, okay, we want to get enlightened together, or we want to grow together, or we want to reach this kind of level of consciousness, this kind of spiritual experience, maybe a peak experience. Okay, maybe you both want to work on your anahata, on your heart chakra. Maybe you both want to do service in the world. So maybe you're not so much inclined to the idea of enlightenment, but for you the idea is karma yoga, the yoga of action. So you want to set up organization that helps children in Africa, and both of you are devoted to that. That's a very amazing thing to do as a spiritual couple. The last idea is the idea of cultivating equality in the value of masculine and feminine. So sometimes you can hear in tantric circles or spiritual circles that the masculine is this amazing thing, and the feminine is amazing but is not as good as the masculine. So both the masculine and the feminine have value in life and in a spiritual relationship. So the masculine brings direction. The feminine brings everything else. The feminine brings the juiciness, the life, the energy. And also the feminine has kind of like the intuition to show the man, the masculine, that sometimes what he regards is direction, maybe it's just control. I can relate to this very much. I'm very much a controlling person, and I'm a bit better than I was before, but sometimes I would feel as if I'm being masculine, as if I'm being Shiva, but actually I would just have an unconscious motive of wanting to be the one deciding what's going on. Okay, so as a woman, reflect it to a man that you're with, maybe shout at him, it's like to wake him up from his illusion. So, very amazing relationships, tantric relationships, spiritual relationships. Reflect on some of the aspects that we covered today: love, service, transcendence of the ego, and so on. See where you're good at, see where you may be challenged about a little bit, and share it in the comments. Looking forward to hear from you. Have an amazing life, an amazing relationship. Speak soon. Bye.